those chocolate nut triangles look delicious to you, then stay tuned and learn how to make them. So what you're going to need is a mixer here, a plastic bowl, then a way to measure, apricot marmalade and some butter or some margarine, a mixer, baking sheets. What I like is this little, like a little wet towel or wet sponge, so I can wipe everything right after I do something, so there's not starting to be a really big mess. Then you need some hazelnuts, almonds, eggs, and some chocolate, and another towel for my hands, and you need a little bowl like this. And before you start, you heat up your oven, and let's get right started. And of course you need flour and sugar, and so we get right started. We need 2 eggs. And I only take biological eggs, or most of the time I try to, because I know how chickens are treated in their normal, like in normal factories, and this is not good, so I rather take some biological eggs and know that those chickens have been treated well. Then I need 130 grams of butter or margarine, and if you have like those half-kilo packs, you just make a cross in the middle, and then you know one section is 125 grams. So you can just take it, and don't. If I'm always moving around, it's because I throw away and clean right when I do it. This is the best trick ever, because it doesn't, like, then you start not having a big mess around. And I like my surface clean when I cook. And you're going to need 300 grams of flour. So I will just, I hate this one. I have a digital one too. This is, but obviously, there we go. Ding, 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 ding. 300 grams of flour is what we need, and we put it all together in one. 100 and 200 and 300. And then we need sugar, and we take 130 grams of sugar. Alright, 130. I don't put the sugar away, we're gonna need it later again. And then you take your mixer, put your mixer stuff in, and then you will need, I have my recipe here in the back, baking soda, which I have here, and you need 1 teaspoon, and this is how I measure it. I just put it in, and this is 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and then you just go through it and make a nice mass. And the thing is, you just go through it, and what you will experience is that it's not giving like one smooth mass, but it's gonna be really, really flaky. But this doesn't matter. Just go through it so the butter is really well in little pieces. put this to wash, and this is how the mess is going to look. Really flaky, see? And then you wash your hands, which I have already done. Put back your shirt, and then you go in it and just mix it with your hands. You press it together so it's gonna be one big mass, which is easy to do because of the butter. And those are really those I don't know, cookie type of style things, really tasty, and especially for Christmas or the time before Christmas, like on those cold afternoons with a hot cup of tea. They so delish, and they because we use some apricot marmalade and chocolate and nuts, it's so flavorful. So now this is the mass, and I already taken my baking sheet and put the mass on the baking sheet actually, and I take one of those to roll, and what I do is I take it off this one. I just I need some. Oh my god, this mask is this is so good. Some flour, so it's not gonna be sticky. And then I just will make it flat, and I'll be right back when it's flat. So now that I have my dough on this plate here, I will go on. I have 200 grams of butter in this pot, and I will start slightly heating it up here. And I will add 2 packages of vanilla sugar. Here. Just meditate sure that I do it like the recipe says. Good. And then I have to take some, I forgot to put this away. See, this is what I mean. I like it a bit clean. I need 200 grams of sugar. I just take this cup here and to measure it, 100 and 200. And I put my sugar to the butter, which is already slightly melted, and take a wooden stick or wooden spatula like this to stir it, and I make really the heat really low. This really low, so it slightly melts, it doesn't get burned. Then I take my apricot marmalade and a tablespoon this size, and I'm taking 4 tablespoons, and as you can see there's a slightly big ones. There were 3. Take a 4th one. If you think it is too much for your taste, then you can take less marmalade. But the marmalade actually gives it a fruity and juicy flavor, so I wouldn't skip this. If you hate apricots, you can take peaches. If you hate peaches, you can take strawberry or any other marmalade that is in your taste. But please, let me advise you, don't skip this step. It makes it really juicy, really flavorful, and prevents the cookies from getting dry. And I just, as you see, I just distribute it with my spoon so that it is evenly distributed like that. And then I heat up my mass a little bit more. And what I do now is, you need 400 grams of nuts. So what I do is, I take 100 grams of almonds. And those are only like some that are, so put them in here. And then I have this, like this is what the magic bullet's for, because they have to be really thin. So what I do, well, I plug it in before, obviously, and I just plug this one out, like this, and then I slice it. Bam. And I check that this, my little butter sugar soup here is melting, because you want the sugar to be melted in total. And then you need, so this is now cooking. This is really nice. It's a really nice mass. Make sure it doesn't burn or anything. And then these are 100 grams of nuts, and so I will put those in here. And that means I have 300 other nuts, and I will take hazelnuts. So 200 grams, and will mean I need another 100. This was not as intelligent as I thought. Or maybe it closes. Oh, it does. It does not. Alright, I'll be right back. I chop those nuts off, and then So what I did now is I added all the nuts and 4 tablespoons of water to my little saucy. And I stir it all up right now, and as you can see, it's a lot. What I do is just I make 1 nutty paste. Check that everything is distributed really well. Alright. And this is how it looks like. And now I will distribute it on my dough here. And therefore you can use the wooden spatula as well. I just distribute it really well. And just pat it, like if I pat it on a little bit, like you would with some good concealer underneath your eyes. Just pat it on slightly like that, as you can see. So it's really nice, evenly distributed. Everything has to be covered, no see-through spots or anything. And it doesn't have, like, it shouldn't be like really thick on one side and then there's no nuts at the other one. So make sure there's pretty much the same amount of nuts everywhere. just like this. This is how it looks like. And now I put it in the oven for 25 minutes and 175 degrees. And I will see you guys once this is done. So it's in the oven and I see you in 25 minutes. So now the 25 minutes are over, and what I will do is I take something to protect my surface. It's like this little mat here, and I put this on, and then I take 2 gloves. You don't want to burn your hands or anything. And then I take them out, and this is how they look. They smell like, my apartment smells so delicious. Like really super delicious. And now I'm taking the chocolate, and this is how the chocolate looks like. And I just take off the surface, because this is plastic. And what I do then is I take a big pan like this, and I put hot water in it. It's really delicious. So that the bottom is covered with hot water, and I put it on my oven. And then I put those right in there. And let the water heat up, and once those are warm and I let this cool a little bit, I'm gonna be right back. So now that the chocolate is melted, I'm gonna turn it off a little bit so you don't have all the smell in there, and then we gonna put attention to our, and we make little triangles. So what we do, I will maybe zoom in. Let me see how I can work this out. This might work for you, no? Yeah, this is great. So what I do is I cut like, I don't know, like a hand size, like this size. I cut it down. In equal stripes. Like this. So that I have equal stripes, and then I will chop off the sides because they are uneven. Make it as close to the sides as possible because we want to have even like even triangles. So I chop off the uneven sides, you know, like pieces like this. There's like an uneven piece at the side. We don't want that. We want them to all look like twinsies. That's why we chop it up. This side actually is pretty nice. Doesn't need any chopping off. And then we make little squares, and I make like 3 rows, 3 horizontal cuts, as you can see. So we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15 little squares right now. I'm gonna show you. Like 15 little squares and the chopped off side. And now, as you can see, I already put like a baking sheet here because we're gonna need that with the chocolate. And then out of those squares, out of 1 square, I'm gonna make 2 triangles. So I chop it. Make sure you have a really sharp knife, so you're not squeezing but cutting it, because if you squeeze it, it's gonna mess it up. You can make like smaller ones if you are preferring to make smaller little pieces. You can make bigger ones if you might make them to take them with you to lunch. You can make bigger ones if you just want them like as a side for the coffee. You can make them smaller. I just tried it, like a little chopped off piece. So delicious. So next step is I'm gonna have like this, so you see my chocolate's in here, and I put this really close like this, and then I really close I have my baking sheet, and I put a knife here so it's not rolling in, or like a little spoon, and then I take my first of all, what is like, you take a little plate like this, and you take off the chopped off pieces so you have more space on your there. And those, you know, you can always eat them yourself. It's not like you're gonna throw them away or anything. They just don't look as nice, like to present, you know. For example, this one here. Guys, see this not looking delicious? It is delicious, it just doesn't look like. So what you do is I take, those are really hot, and you have to wait till they cool down a little bit. This one, for example, is a little cooled down, so they get a little bit more hard and not as soft. And then you just dip one end, and then you turn it, and you dip the other end in chocolate, and then you just put it here on the plate. So what you're going to have is like this. And what I will do is I will do some more and then show you again. So right now I just put both of my little chocolate cans here next to it, and I just take one and I show you, dip it in here, turn it, dip the other corner in there, and then just place it on my baking sheet. And then I'm grabbing the next one, dip one corner, dip the other corner, and just place it on the baking sheet. And that's pretty much what I'm doing with all of them right now. This makes it really fast and easy to do. Just dip one corner, dip the other corner, and place it here. As you see, it goes super fast. And if they not like cut it really well, you just go again with your knife. So you have really like your single triangles. And dip, and another dip, dip, and another dip. And you look for some space on your baking sheet, of course. And you dip. When your hands get chocolatey, you shouldn't mind, because that is what is happening. You get chocolate over your fingers and pretty much over a lot of stuff in the kitchen, but that's okay. You know, you're cooking, you're not. Cooking is always a little related to making a mess. You can keep the mess as small. So this is how they look right now, and they are pretty much done. And this is the final result. And so the only thing that's left is, like, you can put them right in your kitchen or in the freezer to cool the chocolate, and then they're ready to eat, ready to enjoy. So I hope you liked my recipe cooking video, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye bye!